take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. A ride.
Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at Amazon.com/new Alexa.
Good morning. I'm Rabbi Joseph Potasnik.
And I'm Reverend A.R. Bernard.
Reverend, over the years, I've been privileged to know generations of rabbis. When I first became involved with the New York Board of Rabbis, I met a wonderful rabbi, Rabbi Gary Creditor. Years later, at the Board of Rabbis, I met his son, Rabbi Menachem Creditor, who happens to be the rabbi of UJA Federation. So he serves a diverse community. I've heard him teach many members, those who have no background in Judaism, those who are very proficient in Judaism, and he's able to relate to all different people. And then I read a post of his where he spoke of his brother-in-law, Arsen Ostrovsky, who was one of the victims of an attack in Australia. Luckily, he survived that attack, but suffered some serious injuries. So, Rabbi Menachem Creditor, thanks for being with the Reverend the Rabbi.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, indeed. Welcome.
So, we read the story. We know parts of it, but obviously you're more informed. So, talk about the general and go to the specific.
Sure. I think a lot of us have some of the information. There's an annual gathering in Sydney on Bondi Beach for the Jewish community. They come together every Hanukkah, the first night of Hanukkah, and about 1,000, maybe more. It's a Jewish family-oriented event. My brother-in-law and my sister and their 2 young girls who'd lived in Tel Aviv until 2.5 weeks ago wanted to go be part of this joyous moment with the community. And there were 2 terrorists who showed up, a father and a son, to terrorize the Jews who gathered there. They murdered 15 at least. There are a few people of the many that were injured that are still in the hospital. Please God, they should heal fully. And were it not for the actions of a man named Ahmad al-Ahmad, who was a fruit vendor nearby, a 42-year-old father who had no connection to the event, who stopped one of them from continuing to shoot, there would have been even more tragedy.
Mm-hmm. Is this the individual who took the gun away?
Yeah.
That they've showed videos of? Wow.
Yes, it's a dramatic demonstration of what it is to stand up for anybody, not only people who pray like you, look like you, come from the same place you do. You show up for human beings because no one should ever be hurt.
How is your brother-in-law doing? How is the recovery?
Thank you for asking. A bullet grazed the back of his head. He had just stepped away from his family, from my family, and went to get a hot dog, actually. And he heard the sound that he thought was balloons popping. Once he realized it was, in fact, bullets in the air, he got up, and he's a very tall person, and I don't know how, but for the grace of God, the bullet only grazed the back of his skull, and he was bloodied. He was in the hospital and was about to be cleared after getting many stitches in the back of his head when they realized through a scan that some of the shrapnel from the bullet had actually embedded itself in his skull, so they needed to take that out. Now, somehow, this quickly, he's at home recuperating. Thank God.
Rev, I'm listening to the story, and I think of you and I going to the Nova Festival exhibit.
Right.
And we hear an annual gathering of Jews, some non-Jews, but a plethora of Jews in a particular place, which we thought was safe. And now when we hear the story in Australia, we realize that any public gathering where you have Jews poses a serious, dangerous security threat.
Yeah.
And that's why we're seeing, all kinds of police cars in front of synagogues at Hanukkah lightings. You can't take these things lightly. But there is this determination by some to kill the Jews. And I don't care whether the Jews are religious, non-religious, whether they love Israel, are not so committed to Israel, they see Jews as the enemies. Menachem, correct me if I'm wrong in that.
I wish you were wrong. In fact, Arsene, who, again, while they were living in Tel Aviv, he was a very prominent champion of human rights and of the State of Israel. He described what he saw in front of him, and I won't get graphic for your listeners, but described it and had spent many, many visits at the Nova grounds the days after and then the years after, described it as very similar, actually, in his eyes.
Mm-hmm. Now, Bondi Beach, is that an annual event that draws Jewish people around Hanukkah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, communities around the world, and Rabbi Potasnik is right. There's no question that security and the situation has changed with an upsurge of global anti-Semitism, violent anti-Semitism. But this gathering is an annual celebration for the Australian Jewish community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's about 100,000 Jews. No. It's between 1,000 and 2,000, depending on the year. And they come together for the first night to light a candle, the first night of Hanukkah, with a lot of vendors and food and music. It's a celebratory event, or it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right, but I was speaking of the Jewish population in Melbourne or Sydney is around 100,000 Jews that are there. So it's not a very large and significant Jewish population in Australia. So about 1,000 of them gather on Bondi Beach to engage in this annual festival.
Yeah.
Wow.
There were reports, Rabbi Creditor, that the Israeli security team, that had warned Australian officials that said, we're hearing things, we're reading things that you should be aware of so that you can protect those going to Bondi Beach. And they ignored the information given to them. Did you hear the same thing?
Yes, I don't have, from any place of authority, but I have heard similar things, and there's no question that the Jewish community in Sydney and Melbourne and elsewhere have been very frustrated with national leadership when it comes to Jewish safety.
Yeah, it's amazing because it's not localized. It's not in the United States. It's global. It could be anywhere on the planet where you have a gathering of Jews that something like this can happen.
Yeah. We talk about this often. It's clearly a global issue. It's a national issue. And those who want to point to Israel and say, no, that's a political feeling you have, no, the answer must be understood very clearly. Jews are not only a family because we love each other and we're committed to each other through the millennia of our existence, but the world also treats us as one. And what happens wherever Jews gather happens everywhere Jews gather.
Right. That's
but the other thing is, for example, here in New York, you have a police commissioner, you have a mayoral administration that is clearly committed to the protection of Jews. They've spoken about it. They've taken measures to protect them. Australia was lax. I mean, there were all kinds of hate mongering going on, and the government looked the other way.
Yes.
So how do you how do you look in the mirror after something like this happens and say, well, we did what we could? You didn't.
No, they didn't. And the statement that came out afterwards demonstrated the mishandling of the event and of our community by the leadership, because the statement that came out immediately from the Prime Minister's office, if I heard it correctly, didn't mention the word anti-Semitism and didn't use the word Jewish. It was about Australians. And while that's beautiful and important that all citizens should be treated equally, this was an attack on Jews and has to be named as such.
Right. It has to be specified as anti-Semitism in totality. That's I guess maybe they're thinking that this something like that can't happen there. Is there any past history of such an incident in Australia against the Jewish people?
Well, there have been terrible protests, which of course are different than physical violence or physical terrorism. There has been tremendous defacing of property, and there's a sense of instability when it comes to Jewish safety, including other events. But it's also important to note that in the context of Australia, gun violence is far lower than it is in the United States because of very strict rules. That won't stop everyone, but it changes the number of incidents. So that doesn't contextualize anything, but it means that what feels dangerous in Australia will come with different descriptors than we would just use here in the United States.
We're going to take a break here. When we come back, I want to ask you this. You looked at the videos, and you saw that the shots were being fired, and the police who were there did nothing. They just stood by. And thank God for the vendor that got involved and risked his life. But there's something there that Jewish blood, the Jewish life, is not valued.
Wow, that's a tough statement.
Yeah. All right.
Stay tuned. We got to come back for that one. Stay tuned for more of the Rev and the Rabbi right here on Red Apple Radio Networks.
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy, Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida, too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. All right.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
This episode is brought to you by... Oops! I've got a box of Cheez-It crackers staring at me, and I just wanted that irresistible cheesy crunch. Sorry, that was a total snacksident. What was I supposed to be talking about? So salty, so crunchy, so cheesy. Whoops! Lost my train of thought. I've heard of brain freeze, but brain cheese? I'll just have one more Cheez-It cracker, and then I'll get back to it.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. So Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, streaming live. At 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Cowboys, Commanders. Then at 4:30, you've got Lions, Vikings. Midwest football, playoff stakes, and probably some snow. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix this Christmas Day.
Welcome back. I'm Rabbi Joe Spotosnik.
And I'm Reverend A.R. Bernard.
So,
Rabbi?
Yeah, I just want to mention Elias Raff is our producer. So proficient in what he does. It makes all of this possible. So, Menachem, I mentioned before the reputation of the Australian government. I saw statements, I heard statements of the chief rabbi. I've heard statements of the former prime minister. And they weren't just critical, they lambasted him and the government for being so lax about the threats to the Jews.
Yeah. Look, I don't speak as a local, but I do know that the reason my brother-in-law and sister moved to Sydney just 2.5 weeks ago, Arsene is going to be the new director of the Sydney office of AJAC, which is a major Jewish organization there, and one of their big concerns has been adequate support for and protection of the Jewish community there. It is clear that there were only 2 police officers present for a 1,000-person public event on a beach, and that tells you that they were not taking this seriously. And if there was any inclination, any sign, any chatter about an impending attack, they were not prepared. And if there wasn't, they still weren't prepared. You can't imagine a gathering of that size anywhere in the United States without a significant role of law enforcement and private security, too.
Yeah, the expectation is there. I like to turn your attention to something that I read about this, that Sydney specifically was a destination for Holocaust survivors. Back in 1938 to 61, the Jewish population there tripled in size. And to hear that one of the Holocaust survivor was actually killed in this particular event. How do you survive a Holocaust and then end up on a beach like this, dying? Speak to that, please.
And by the way, to make the picture even more bleak and dramatic and heroic, he died sheltering his wife, covering his wife of 50 years. And so
I showed pictures of that, yeah. And a 10-year-old child also was killed.
Yes, a 10-year-old girl named Matilda, a Chabad rabbi, and another rabbi. And there's no explaining any of this, not theologically, certainly not socially. And anyone who would contextualize this is just part of the problem. There's no way to understand this as anything other than pure evil. And when I asked my brother-in-law, while he was recuperating, what he would have me say in his name, he said, "Evil shall not triumph, we will prevail."
It's interesting.
It is as simple and profound as that, I think.
It's interesting to say that, because this entire week we've had Hanukkah lighting, not just within the home, but out in the street. Here in New York, I saw at Carl Schurz Park, near the Plaza Hotel, another number of areas, community came together to light the Hanukkah menorah. And because of the anti-Semitism that is so pervasive, it's metastasized, you've had a number of Christian or non-Jewish leaders who have stood with us at some of these lightings and saying, we're not going to let you stand alone. It's dangerous, but we're with you. And I think that has to be part of the story as well, that we feel we still have allies who are there for us and with us. But what happened in Australia has happened. And by the way, if you follow the news, it was a day or two later that in New York City on a train, some young people from Chabad were attacked.
Yes.
And they left they got off the station early because they were feared for their lives.
Yeah, it's trying to still work with that one. I'm just curious because relationship between Israel and Australia did become increasingly strained over the past year because of what's happening in Gaza. And the Prime Minister, sharply criticized Israel's conduct concerning Gaza. Do you think that had anything to do with the laxness of protection, realizing that, here you have a people that are globally in jeopardy, and there's not the kind of protection for these people? What are your thoughts on it?
If a government only protects those who agree with government policy, it is not doing its job.
Look, when you have police protesters, people who protest the police, you have police protecting them. Right? You look at demonstrations against the police, and you get the police guarding them as they're marching in and spewing all of their hatred against police. So,
correct.
It's security of the individual that has to be paramount.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Menachem, you're a great teacher, student. What do we do? Where do we go from here? I mean, I always tell people, when look at Hanukkah, look at the story of Hanukkah. When they said to the Jews, you can have your religion, but you're not going to fulfill it the way you want. It's the way we want. We're going to destroy your menorah. You can have your temple. You can destroy it. We're going to destroy the menorah and purify the oil. So it's like saying, well, you can be Jewish, but we don't want you to be Zionist. We're going to truncate part of it. What do we do? I think the answer is we're going to be stronger Jews. We're going to be prouder of who we are.
I'll say the same thing and get there in my own meandering way, given how intense this week has been. My brother-in-law is well known on social media as someone who is present and serves as witness, taking pictures of every dark part of the world. It's really something to notice what he's been able to do. When he was shot, somehow he was able to take a picture of himself. And that picture has spread all over the world. And he conducted an interview in the immediate moment as well with a bloodied and bandaged head. I take him as my role model. There were 6 beautiful young hostages kidnapped by Hamas who just months before they were executed by Hamas took a propaganda video of them lighting Hanukkah candles. And throughout Jewish history, we have defied the darkness. It's the central message of Hanukkah. And just as you said, stronger, louder, and prouder. Any person, any group that tells the Jewish community you can only be part of who you are and live, we say back, no, we're going to be all of who we are and live. Right. Our ancestors gave us that legacy, and we're going to give it to our descendants.
And religious liberty is one of the main themes in the face of danger, one of the main themes of Hanukkah. Yes, gentlemen?
Yeah, it is. We've come to the end of the segment. I just want to say, Menachem Creditor, Rabbi Menachem Creditor, I'm a great admirer of the work you do, as I'm a great admirer of your family. And Rev, Menachem's wife is studying to be a rabbi.
She is. 2 rabbis in the family.
Yeah. The tradition continues.
Hopefully the same school of thought, yes?
Oh, she's my teacher, so I'm not sure what's other than hers.
What a good husband. A good husband with the appropriate answer.
He understands.
Yeah. So, but Menachem, one of the things I've learned from you as I've watched you and heard you is I don't care what kind of Jew you are, just be proud of the Jew that you are.
Amen.
That is the lesson we teach about Hanukkah, post-Hanukkah. And by the way, we expect the same of other people. If you're a Christian, be proud of that. No matter what your tradition, be proud of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Menachem, great meeting you, and thank you for being on the program.
You too. Thanks for having me.
All right. And stay tuned for more of the Rev and the Rabbi right here on Red Apple Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. A ride.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.